last month. Is there anybody that wants to make a motion to do that and second it?
I'll motion.
I'll second.
Great. So the minutes have been accepted, and we appreciate the minutes being taken by our secretary. Last month. Is there anybody that wants to make a motion to do that and second it? Mr. Moten, what do you want to start us off with?
I'll motion.
I'll second.
I apologize, Mr. Slade. I was making sure that the YouTube stream was up and
Oh, that's great.
and so I was here. Are you there?
I'm here. There you are.
Okay, I'm having some connectivity issues. I apologize. Have our report from the school, and so while this is clearing up, I'm gonna go ahead and ask if Ms. Mays will go ahead and get us started, and followed by Mr. Motler and Dr. Gant, then Ms. Knowles, and then Mr. Brent. And hopefully by the end, I will have my connectivity issues straightened out, and then I'll bring up the rear.
Thank you.
Okay, for 7th grade, we are in the process of completing MAP testing right now. So we just completed our 2nd day of MAP testing. And after and over those 2 days so far, we have about 35 students who have met and who have exceeded growth in the area of 5 to 9 points, and about 15 to 20 on both teams who have gotten 10 or more points and growth from the fall of this year to the winter MAP testing. So we're still compiling those numbers. I know we've had some students that are gonna take it next week whenever they do attend. And so that is very promising due to what the state and what, I know Dr. Gant was explaining the last time with what's called a COVID slide. So a lot of our students, we are seeing their growth and looking at that. They're also working with students to create their goals for this upcoming spring. So they met with students last week and earlier on in this week to discuss what their goals were and to set those attainable goals for the spring. So looking forward to having more growth over the next couple months as well. We are in the backslide of our second 9 weeks. So teachers are remediating. They are working one-on-one with students, making sure that they are mastering those goals and objectives, and just moving towards the second semester and making sure students are doing a lot of the heavy lifting themselves, of doing student-centered lessons, stations, those kinds of things. And that is it for 7th grade at this point.
For 6th grade, we've done a good job. We're dealing with some just school fatigue right now. The 6th graders and are kind of hitting the wall, and we're trying to push them through. Have seen growth from our kids from the beginning of the year till now. But we're pushing through to get through these next couple of days. And as far as school related issues, progress reports and progress monitoring will be done the week we get back on January 5th through the 9th that week. So all grades will be updated in Canvas. And if students are in danger of failing, the teachers will make contact with parents to make sure they are aware. So that's kind of where 6th grade is. I'm very proud of the kids for their work with the canned food drive. We got a dress down day for that. Also, we're getting a pizza party and some other things because of the hard work they've done. So congratulations to them and the teachers and parents for being generous with the canned goods. So thank you.
As Ms. Mays mentioned, teachers are working hard, working with students to set goals for MAP, and even just in the classroom and beyond. I've had the opportunity in the last couple of weeks to really get into the classes and assist teachers and really get to know a lot more of the students and their personalities and their strengths and their weaknesses. And so I'm just looking forward to us getting a bit of a break, which I think everybody needs, including the teachers, students, and everybody involved, and then having a fresh start coming in the new year as we begin to start our level professional development opportunities.
In sixth grade, we're just like Mr. Model said, we're working towards Christmas break and winter break and keeping our nose down and keeping focused. But I wanted to take a second to shout out Mr. Brandt and the PBIS committee. They've done a wonderful job this year of keeping it positive with the kids and doing shout outs on the bulletin board in the hallway. The kids are enjoying getting those shout outs from their teachers. And they're constantly wanting to know, is their name up on the bulletin board? Did they get a shout out on the bulletin board? So kudos to the PBIS committee for doing that.
All right, and I'll talk a little bit about like how we're doing that. The kind of the way we frame PBIS over the past couple of years has been around the idea that people do their best when they are recognized for doing meaningful work. And it's hard for a small group to touch all the students in the building. So we focus on supporting the teachers so that they can in turn support the students. And the way this has worked over the past month since we met last, we decided that if we could get a teacher to give one student shout out per day for the month, that they would get a gator for their door. And then our new art teacher, Ms. Moore, has decorated them. We gave a couple of these out about a month ago, and I was expecting that maybe we would get 5 or 6 teachers that would do this so that we could recognize the teachers for recognizing the students. In that time, we've had about 460 student shout outs. We had 281 that were posted last week, and I have to now make 9 of these gators to give to teachers. Miss Knowles is getting one, right? Did you decide which one you want yet?
Surprise me.
Okay, I'll surprise you. So, as we mentioned, the stress of this COVID environment, teachers are getting concerned about dealing with larger class sizes and how are we going to fit everybody in. You can hear the kids talking about concerns about having people come back in. We're rolling to the holidays. Ms. Gant mentioned, how everybody's feeling the pressure. The important thing from our perspective is that we're making sure that people are still looking for the positive, still recognizing students for doing things outside of academics. And then that what we're doing is making sure that we're recognizing the teachers. And this goes to the entire staff. There's another program from the administrators for really high level recognition, but it's not limited to just teachers. It's any adult in the building that we're looking to recognize.
All righty, and Ms. Miller just joined us. Ms. Miller, we were given a report to the committee and we made our way around all grade levels. Do you want to give a report for 8th grade?
Hello, everybody. Report for 8th grade. Teachers are still working hard. The piece that I caught, I think they all share kind of the same concerns as Mr. Brandt was stating. It's funny how the kids, they've had like it's just a sense of family being in the small group setting. So as he said, it's kind of like when we come back together, what does that look like? But otherwise, we're still just trying to make sure we get through map testing and make sure that we work hard for these last 2 weeks. That's all from 8th grade.
All right, thank you, Ms. Miller, and thank you everyone for your contribution to the report to the committee and the school community. I'll just kind of summarize a few things. We had a really heartfelt faculty meeting today. One of the things I want to make sure that I do as building leader is to recognize the true pulse of the school. And so the word fatigue was used, and I was the first to admit that I am physically and mentally almost exhausted, almost at that edge. And so I'm doing the best that I can to recharge and reset every day to make it through to winter break. I think that's important, that that's acknowledged, because if not, then all of those things that we try to do to make sure that we provide a safe and responsive culture and environment in the school, if those things aren't acknowledged, then you run the risk of overlooking some details that can really set your school back. So I wanted the faculty to understand that I too am at that edge of fatigue, and that's okay. I'm counting on my faculty and staff to support me just as much as I want to be there to support them. And it has to be a collaborative effort in order for us to be able to operate in a, we're in a global pandemic. We're in a situation in our city that things are not trending in the correct direction. And so someone trying to do it alone is not going to work out. 2 or 3 people trying to do it is not going to work out. It's going to take all of us reminding each other about, wearing your mask, your face covering, all of us looking out for each other when it comes to being able, the movement about the school. Whenever someone is not feeling well and they can't move on, I'm very proud of the fact that our staff has stepped up to the plate and supported each other as it relates to coverage when 1 or 2 people are not in a position to take care of a class. And so that responsiveness is extremely important. And I show some vulnerability, and I'm okay with that, because I feel like I'm surrounded by one of the best teams that anybody can ask for. So I want to make sure that everyone understood that. With that said, we know that quite a few folks are counting on us, and we're committed to making sure that the next 7.5 days are not wasted. The 7.5 days, we're gonna burn every drop of gas we have to make sure that we get to the end and right there at winter break, and we'll go into winter break spent, and that's how it's supposed to be. We don't want to hold anything back or leave anything out there on the court or the field. We want to make sure that we give it our all, and again, that can't happen unless we all do our part. I'm very proud of our efforts, again, despite the pandemic, despite the AB hybrid situation, that our focus remains on academic achievement. And, Dr. Gant mentioned, and Ms. Mays mentioned the goal setting sheets that went along with our winter map mid-year checkup, and to see the students be extremely excited about, first of all, knowing where they need to, their goals or their marks that they're aiming for. And then to see quite a few of them achieve it or exceed it, that was tremendous. And so again, placing that in their hands so they understand the movement they need to make in order to be, in order to grow, is something that I certainly appreciate from the instructional leadership team. We have done much better as far as outward communication to the school community. We have a collaborative effort to continue the This Week in Dutchman Creek newsletter, and hopefully you guys get to enjoy lots of things, not only from the face-to-face students, but I appreciate that the M&Ms, Mr. Mala, Mays, and Miller, reach out to the Virtual Academy and make sure that those guys get some recognition for the things that they're doing. It's been one of those things where it's been kind of tough, and outside of the sports, one of the things that the Virtual Academy students were very active in was our service learning groups, Beta Club and Student Council. Unfortunately, due to our conditions, we had to suspend, right along with Dr. Cook's mandate, we had to suspend our outreach and our volunteerism out in the community in the name of Dutchman Creek. So, Dutchman Creek Beta Club and the things that they were doing, and Student Council and all of those groups, FCA, we were asked to just hold tight on going out so much in the name of the school. Individual people, however, certainly can continue to do those things. And, again, it's just a sign of the times, and we're trying to work through that. We did welcome back a small group of students that would benefit from receiving 5 days a week of instruction, and that has worked out well. One of the things we had to make sure of is our capacity within the room. And so logistically, we have been working around trying to make sure that we maintain 6 feet of social distancing when we have the simple desk shields that sit right on the desktop itself. However, operations has begun to outfit our classes with the shields that extend from the floor up. I want to say it's 54 inches. I'm not sure, but whatever it is, it allows for us to be able to fit more desks inside of the 6 feet of social distancing that we were using to begin the school year, no closer than 3 feet. We do have some challenges, particularly in sixth grade, because we have so many sixth graders that our class sections are pretty large. And so we're trying to make sure that we can get all of those desks in anticipation of our A and B students returning all 5 days in a combined school setting whenever that comes around. Again, we're counting on everyone in our school community extended to help us out by doing those things out in the community when they're away from school that will give us a fighting chance of being able to come back safely. And that includes, of course, wearing your mask out in public and social distancing, and as much as possible, the large gatherings. It's one of those things where as a school, we have limited influence. We can just simply ask and hope that our school community will help us out again, give us that fighting chance of being able to return back 5 days. But I know it's very important for our those things won't happen if it can't happen safely. So last thing I mentioned, Mr. Brandt and the PBIS committee has been the driving force for all of the things that we're able to do, because again, the conditions are not very favorable for us. And it would be easy to just motor through the day and just labor through, but school is fun. We work hard, but we play hard, and we recognize each other. And I certainly appreciate that grassroots effort to make sure that we are recognized for the things that we do, and it's not top-down driven. I give Mr. Brandon that group full extension to just go for it. And the ideas that they come up with are amazing, and they certainly have a huge impact on our school. And don't want to end without saying thank you so much to the School Improvement Council for your part in helping us out. The Candy Bowl has been a hit. Mr. Slater, your idea to try to hide the Reese cups and the peppermint patties underneath all of that peppermint didn't work out. One person discovered it down at the bottom, and then they were diving in and shoving all of that peppermint out the way, and they were going straight for the Reese cups. But that was a simple something that, guys, it made a huge impact. We certainly appreciate that. The gifts that you gave right there around Thanksgiving time, just something real nice to say, that you appreciate the faculty and staff. They can't stop talking about it. And so we appreciate your love and support of the faculty and staff at Dutchman Creek. And again, everything that we do, we want to make sure that our students are the ultimate benefactors. So thank you so much.
Well, I would like to recognize Miss Harvey and Miss SIC for their work in making that stuff happen. It was fun to participate in, but I hope that it shows with just how much heartfelt thanks that we have and appreciation we have for the teachers and the staff and all that they do. I know it's not easy. My wife is a teacher, but it means a lot to us just to be able to say thank you.
All right, that concludes the report from the school. Do you guys have any questions for anybody?
I did have one question. When you talked about the outcome of the MAP testing scores, did that also include the virtual academy students, or was that only the in-person students results?
I believe that was only the in-person results. The virtual academy kind of handled their own students for MAP this time around. So we can still probably see their scores and see where our kids are at, but they were not reported back from Ms. Mays as results. Also, virtual academy, we are having a Spirit Week next week. We sent some communication out, but every day there's something for kids to do. And we definitely want our Gators to represent us well in this challenge amongst all the schools. So look forward to seeing all the Gators dressed up and showing out next week for virtual Spirit Week.
Dr. Gant, has the process been any better as far as being able to filter the Dutchman Creek students out of the mix of virtual academy students when it comes to MAP scores?
Yes, they were able to, the district was able to fix that in NWEA, where we were able to now see our, all of our student scores. And so we can pull a report and determine how well all of our Dutchman Creek Gators did on the winter map testing once the winter map testing window closes, which it will close on the 18th.
Okay, good. That was a early problem. I guess, no one anticipated that once the virtual academy was established and we had students. Some of our Dutchman Creek students had teachers that were not tied directly to Dutchman Creek. And so getting those reports, it was just one big giant glob of information. And so I'm glad to know that we have that process. But as far as being able to disaggregate that information, when that window closes, then going into January, we'll be able to put our eyes and hands on it and then, make sure we do what we need to do and then support the virtual academy students just as well as we do the face-to-face students.
Okay. We have old business that we need to go over. Mr. Moten, with Ms. Clippa's request for getting repairs done in the theater, have we made any progress on that?
Actually, we are making some progress. We had the electrician to come out. They brought the heavy lift or the scissor lift and went up and they checked the ballast and they found that there were some significant issues. And so they reported back to me that they were going to request that the old light fixtures be replaced with LEDs. And that way we'll have energy efficient lighting and certainly sufficient lighting for all of the things that we need. So that has to be bid out. And I anticipate that will be a probably closer to spring project. Unfortunately, well, I guess you can say fortunately too, we have not had a significant need for the stage and for house lights because we haven't been able to host any major events in the auditorium. But, by the time that rolls around, we want to make sure that we have everything in place. This is a process that they completed at Castle Heights. So talking to the electrician, he knows exactly what needs to be done. It's just a matter of getting the funding for it, getting it approved, and then getting the work order in and getting it done.
Does anyone have any other old business that we need to address? All right, do we have any new business to bring before the council here? Do you have any, Mr. Moten?
No, I do not. The 2020 portion of the school year flew by. It's hard to believe that we only have, we have less than 10 days left before we get out for winter break. But as far as specific things to bring before the council, I do not. I just, if you guys can help us out by continue to spread the word of, those things that are important to be able to get us all back. Again, the goal from the beginning was for all of us to be back in school and for us to be able to be face to face with our students and do the things that we know we can do in order to be most impactful. If you can continue to support us in that, continue to be participate or at least monitor the conversations that are being had on the school board level when it comes to the things that will come down the pipe for a return to school or what it would look like in the second semester. If you can help us out by getting the feel from your family and friends in our school community and keep us updated and continue to give us the feedback that we need in order to improve.
Well, I think we can certainly all do that. Again, I just want to say thank you to each and every one of our teachers and staff and for the community that participates on our school improvement committee here. And yeah, it makes a difference. All the little things make a difference, and I can appreciate certainly everyone's fatigue and being tired. It takes a lot to be good. If it was easy, everybody would do it. But I think that we all believe in the staff and the teachers that we have. And so we just continue to push forward, and then in a short period of time, we'll have a much needed break, and then we'll recharge our batteries and come back and hit it again. And I can't wait to find out what Miss Harvey and Miss SIC have a plan for us next.
I like to think that if we weren't tired at the end of the day, then we didn't work hard enough.
I would totally agree with that.
So I can certainly appreciate that. And thank you guys again for all that you do to support us here at Dutchman Creek Middle School.
All
Mr. Moten, have you shared with the teachers and staff about next Thursday? I don't want
Yes,
to give
ma'am.
it away if you haven't, but, oh, okay.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, absolutely. They're looking forward to that. We appreciate that.
Uh-oh. Ms. SIC, would you like to talk a little bit more about that? I think we've coined our tokens of appreciation for you all, Thankful Thursdays. So anything that we plan, we hope to present it on Thursdays. So the next event for December, Ms. SIC actually planned that and coordinated it. And so if she'd like to talk a little bit about that, I think that'll be great.
I think it's the Knowledge Park Coffee bus will be coming out, and staff and faculty can get a large beverage of their choice just to fuel up before the day and make it through the finish line.
That is awesome. You hear that, Brent?
Yeah, I think that's wonderful. I hope everybody takes advantage of that.
In fact, I may have to take advantage of it. I think the committee should be able to take advantage of it, but I'm kidding. But it is, I think our committee is excited to be able to do that and hope that the faculty and staff will enjoy just a little pre-Christmas thankful for y'all treat.
Oh, absolutely.
And I hope that if there are any needs that arise, that they can be communicated and passed on, and we can see what we can do to reach out to the community to help meet those needs.
Mhm.
I know teachers have been looking for cleaning supplies and things still. I got to tell you, that's been hard to come by. I was at Walmart the other day, and there wasn't a single roll of paper towels to be had anywhere. So, I don't know what the supply chain problem is, but still, if those needs are there, just ask and we'll see what we can do to help meet those needs.
All right.
Does anyone else have anything they'd like to bring? No. Mr. Brandt, thank you so much for everything that you're doing, for recognizing students. It goes a long way to recharge their batteries and bring them focus. So appreciate the creativity with the Gators. That's really cool.
That's mostly Tracy Moore, our new art teacher. She was the one that came up with the idea of doing the Gators, but she didn't know how to spread them around. So that was another thing that's come from a lot of what we're doing is we're getting a lot of collaboration, a lot of people working with teachers on other halls, related arts. I see 6th grade teachers going to 8th grade hallway. So that's a big part of it too.
That's
Part of
fantastic.
that community.
Well, thank you for helping to mentor that program and provide a little energy to it. It makes a big difference. All right, anyone else have any business they want to bring before the committee? All right, well, I know it's early, but if we don't want to hold anybody up any longer than we have to. So if there's nothing else that anyone wants to bring forward, we will adjourn this meeting and we'll meet again in January. And between now and then, I hope everyone has a safe and wonderful holiday. They get a chance to recharge their batteries. And, we look forward to a new, more positive year.
All right. Go Gators.
Go Gators.
All right, Maze. Show them how you do it.
Go Gators!